All right, everyone, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day today to join us for a virtual style forum. And this round, I have two of our amazing ladies from our buying team, Sydney and Sarah. Give a little wave. And again, I'm Blaire Walsh. I'm our resident style director. So I'm so excited to dig into some of our buyers' top holiday picks, how to wear them, being that our holidays are going to be a little bit different this year. But first, I want us to get to know Sarah and Sydney and let themselves introduce each other and give a little background. So let's get to it.
Amazing. So hi, everyone. I'm Sydney. I am so excited to be here today with you in a way to connect with the community. This is a really fun idea. So thanks for having us, Blaire. A little bit about myself. I have been at Rent the Runway for almost 6 years now, which is kind of crazy, and it's been a wild ride. I am the buyer for the special occasion inventory. So think brands like Retrofit, Alexis, ML Monique Lolier, anything that you'll be wearing to a wedding, I most likely bought for the site. I also helm the plus size section as well, which is a great initiative of ours.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm so excited to be here today and really get to know you all. I've been at the company for 7 years, which is pretty crazy to think about. I just had my anniversary in October. Started on the customer insights team, and I've since, had the luxury of being on a couple of different teams here. I am right now leading the charge on all of our denim brands, some of our contemporary vendors, and also our maternity initiative, which has been a really growing category for us. So I'm excited to speak to some of that today as well.
Amazing. So if you ladies could take us through what a day is like as a buyer at Rent the Runway and what is buying?
Yeah, definitely. I'll tap on it quickly, and then Sarah, you can give your input too. But I would say buying at Rent the Runway is, it's very different than buying for a traditional retailer. We have the opportunity to really tailor our assortment depending on what our customers' needs and wants are and hit into specific trends for that season. No day is the same. And I think one aspect that I really love about it is that I have the opportunity to do a ton of development with my designer partners because of our specific needs and operations, since we are a rental model. So there is a lot of opportunity for creativity.
I think Sydney definitely touched on the main points. I would say that I love, being on the buying team because I definitely geek out a little bit at the data. That for me has been really interesting. I love seeing what our customer wants, how you all are shopping, what don't we have currently on site that you all are craving. There's so much that we can learn from our community, and we have all the tools available to do so. And I think, we're really just kind of at the beginning of what we can offer everyone. So it's been a really fun way to participate in that growing assortment.
So we can thank Sarah and Sydney for all the amazing styles that they buy for us to wear and rock on a day-to-day basis. So my next slide that I want to get into is your personal style aesthetic and what inspires you, if it's like pop stars, influencers, tastemakers, actors, actresses, you name it. I just kind of want to see what your personal style is and how does that translate into what you buy at Rent the Runway as well.
Awesome. So my style, I think I can be a little bit edgy with like a downtown vibe, but then also I really like the feminine touches. And I feel like there's such a large fashion spectrum to play with, so I can't really be held in a box. I really do love experimenting with new trends and rich fabrics like this lovely blazer I'm wearing. But I do think that you can really take on the world with an oversized blazer. Vintage tees, puff sleeves, and gold jewelry are definitely considered my basics, but I've really been inspired by the Scandinavian fashion lately. And then some of my favorite RTR brands that I want to call out that I personally am drawn to, Cecily Bonson. She is so feminine, and she's a Scandinavian designer, and she does the puff sleeves so well, along with Gani, which also has that Scandinavian vibe, but a little bit more edgy and print driven. I always go to a Goldie for my denim. They're like my core denim. They fit me really well. Maj and Sandro have that like Parisian chicness to it. So I always like to rent a few pieces from them. And then when I want a little bit of edge, I love Ronnie Kobo and Philip Lim. And then people that I look at for style advice or, you know, inspiration, I actually go to a lot of the influencers. I think a lot of people kind of do that these days,
Definitely.
but I'm sure it's no surprise if you do know me. Hailey Bieber is like amazing for my style icon. I look at everything she does. I love her edginess. And then she always wears like all those oversized blazers and jackets and things like that, that always look very trendy for her.
I feel like she's made like a mark in the fashion industry now, especially like her street style with her stylist, Maeve Riley.
Yep.
Yes, we all know she's married to Justin Bieber, but I think she's really come into herself as like a fashion street style icon, which is really cool to draw inspiration from.
Yeah, and like the Justin Bieber aspect, I know everyone loves him, but like that doesn't even matter to me. She's owning it herself, so I love that. And then the second influencer that I have a photo of is Emily Sinlev, and she's actually a Danish influencer, and she's very like eclectic and fun. She wears so many different prints and different colors, and she pairs them all really well. So I definitely look for her for inspiration. And then my last one is my absolute favorite, which is Caro Dower. She definitely is part of the reason that I went blonde. I love her style. She's super fun and she's German. So you can tell I'm definitely getting inspiration from the fashions abroad.
Very
amazing. Cool. I would say, you know, my style is definitely eclectic and experimental. So I'm someone who loves just to find silhouettes that really work for my body shape. You know, it's definitely taken some time, but I have found that jumpsuits work really well for me. I love a novelty denim, and I really do love incorporating pop colorways and mixing prints. I really think that you are not held, as Sydney said, to any one genre. So I love to mix it up. Some days you'll find me wearing, you know, sweatshirts that I've stolen from my dad, dresses, you know, from our site, as well as kind of always making sure that I'm staying true to my relaxed vibe at the end of the day. So, you know, I definitely keep my style pretty androgynous as far as, you know, my go-to look, but I love touching it up with little, you know, bits of whimsy in my accessories and in other ways. So a couple of brands where I really, you know, kind of are my go-to staple brands for rental. I love Redone for denim. They're definitely an investment piece, but I think they're doing so much for, you know, sustainability, and also just the fact that they're very kind of more of like a street denim in the sense that they will tend to be a little bit more oversized and have that vintage look. MM6 is great for tailoring. Like I said before, you know, I really love something that still looks polished, but has like a little bit of an edge to it. Great brand to go to for that. Hoffman Copenhagen, you know, back to Sydney's touch on these designers from abroad. This brand is such an easy, effortless brand to go to. If you really just want to throw something on and feel your best, you really can't go wrong here. And then finally, Proenza Schouler. I love everything that we buy from them. So props to the buying team, you know, for pulling these core pieces from these designers. My style icon. So a couple of things here, you know, I definitely love, as I mentioned before, to pull inspiration from all walks of life, all ethnicities, all ages. And I really think that it's important today, especially, to make sure that you're pulling inspo from everywhere. So my first is Timothée Chalamet. His red carpet looks are amazing. He goes super bold, he blurs the lines, and he's obviously super cute as well. So, you know, props to him on that. And then Zendaya also, you know, she's super feminine, mixes her prints, is always very polished, but does it in a way that still has an edge. And she's never too scared to play with her fashion, which I think is really important to keep in mind. And finally, Diane Keaton, you know, she's someone who I think truly defines that you are able to play with fashion throughout your entire life. It's not just, you know, reserved for your youth. And I think it is so important to play to that and make sure that fashion is part of our everyday experience. And she truly proves that. And plus, who doesn't love a good hat? And we all know Diane Keaton does.
In the office, Sarah she's definitely the one to be able to pull off like a really cool plaid oversized overalls with like a button-up shirt and like a cool fedora hat. Like, you definitely
agree to that point.
Yeah, yeah. Like boy, masculine, but also feminine totally. Style approach. Thank you for giving us a little background on your personal style. So I think our next big question is, how are we all dressing for the holidays? So let's definitely get your breakdown on what you think is going to work for what you have coming up for the holidays.
Perfect. So I actually approach this more directionally. I've got some key recommendations here as far as trends and themes to keep in mind, but I have broken it out just to a few end use cases because I do think that for myself, I love to kind of play it up to where I'm going. For example, kicking it off with friends, this is really where I love to play up trends and add an element of sex appeal. So this is where I highly recommend trying out some of our mesh turtlenecks, some of our see-through tops, like this one here from Ronnie Kobo. I love, a sweater with like a cutout embellishment or some sort of novelty piece to it that adds, a twist to a classic silhouette. As I mentioned before, I love a novelty bottom. Here are 3 that I recommend, but again, we have tons on our site that fit this trend. RTA does a great play on a tuxedo bottom. Ulla Johnson with this acid wash tie belt denim is great. And then Levi's has this oversized jean that's on site. And this is really a shape that will continue into spring of next year. We've all been at home. Comfort is a main thing to keep in mind. So add trend by playing it up and by going for it and really going after that oversized jean.
And
With
Sarah,
family,
sorry, I love how this just popped into my stylist head. Not a lot of people feel that they can mix brown and blacks together. They think it's one or the other. So your picks are a great example of how to wear those 2 colors together.
And to your point, I think leopard is one of those prints that it goes with nothing and therefore it goes with everything. You can consider a leopard as a neutral, and it's something that even if you throw it in, whether it be via an accessory, a main piece such as a top, you can totally mix and match colorways and, like Blaire said, pair it back to black and have it not be, a fashion faux pas.
Totally.
So jumping into with family, this is where I personally like to keep it a little bit more traditional. And I wanted to make some recommendations of how to add and sprinkle in trend, knowing that for me, for example, I'm spending my holidays with my significant other's family, family of friends, and kind of just want to make sure that even if I'm staying understated, that I register trend in an easy way. So going to call out the puff sleeve. Ulla Johnson has some amazing tops on site that really speak to this. Tuck these back into some denim or, dress it up with some tailored pants. You really can't go wrong here. And also this tie neck top from Rope, that's amazing with the mixed colors. It's kind of already done it for you. This is an easy silhouette that just adds, an extra layer of trend without feeling over the top. Finally, you've got these fall maxis, which to me, I love going for seconds during my holiday meals. So I like to be comfortable. Throw on a fall maxi.
Personally go with fun printed, easy silhouettes during the holidays because I'm running around with my family and baby cousins and then also going for seconds.
Totally. You want it to be easy, no fuss, and you want to feel your best without having to kind of pick and pull at your outfit all night. These are my go-to recommendations. And then finally for cocktail, I typically love to use NYE as an excuse to go super bold, love sequins, love some shine. But this year, obviously, it still will be a little bit different. And while I highly recommend that you try out some products that you've been hearting, I do think it's a good time to maybe dial it back a little bit. Make sure that if you are indoors all night that you're comfortable, you're not too overheated. And the best way for me to recommend that is via, an easy jumpsuit or an easy sheet that still has, some sexy element to it with this cutout shoulder. I personally like to show off my legs. So I would recommend for people that also like to do that, maybe going for a long sleeve, and the dynamic of the mini still adds a little bit of coverage, but adds that element for a fun night out. I've sprinkled in some accessories here too. I won't go into those too much, but these are some of my favorite brands that I immediately check out if I'm looking for something to touch up my look. You can, really have fun with the jewelry that we have on site, especially earrings. And for those of us that are celebrating virtually, throw on a pair of really big hoops, throw on something that adds some shine, and really just that final element, I think, is perfect for those of us that are, toasting over the keyboard this year.
Yeah, I think accessories definitely will play a role during the holidays because you might just be wearing a cozy turtleneck knit at home with your denim and then, just throw on like a really fun pair of statement earrings and then you'll be set for that, whole festive look.
Totally.
I love that, Sarah, toasting over the keyboard, because we will all be doing that.
All right, Sydney, take us through your picks.
Yeah, definitely. So the way I looked at my holiday picks was really keeping comfort and versatility in mind, because it doesn't matter if you have our unlimited subscription or if you've transitioned over to our other programs that give you 4, 8, or 16 items. I want to make sure that you feel prepared, depending on whatever you rent, you can wear in many different ways. So the first item, which I'm wearing, as you can tell, I am obsessed with. Fun note, I actually designed this blazer directly with the Badgley Mishka team, which is really exciting. But I thought this would be a great option that you can wear all year round, but also for holiday, because it is that rich jacquard fabric. There's a little bit of shine, and depending how you style it, you can get different looks. It's also great for all ages. You can pair it with a mock neck or a turtleneck. You can pair it with a little crop top underneath, change your bottoms, and then you have a look that can last you throughout all of the holidays. And then the next style that I'm actually loving altogether is this Jonathan Simkai and Ramey Brook pairing, where you have the sequin Jonathan Simkai top and then the velvet Ramey Brook pants. And I don't know if any of you have ever rented velvet pants before, but typically they are very comfortable. So this is good for lounging, but also great if you're having like a small get together and you want to be a little dressed up, you're still comfortable. The other thing that I love about this Jonathan Simkai top is that if sequin is too much for you and it's a little too bold wearing it as a top on its own, throw a blazer over it. And then you just have like a little bit of shine that kind of peeks out, which is great for all ages. And it's like fun to experiment with pops of shine. And then the next two items, I think, cardigans are so on trend this winter and holiday season. You'll see cardigans in all of the stores, cropped cardigans, oversized cardigans. This one from Farmru I love because it's implementing that animal trend, but like in a very specific way where you have like the literal animal on there. It's great. You can dress it up, add some gold jewelry. That's like my go-to, or, you can put it with some sweatpants and be comfy, but it's a great conversation starter with your friends and family. And then real quick, this neon blonde, dual purpose, obsessed with it. You can wear it with the boat neck in the front for a reserved look, or if you're going out and you want to be a little sexy, turn it around and you have your V neck and you're good to go.
2 for 1 special.
Yeah. And then one other style that I really want to call out, which is my absolute favorite for cocktail. This is like the epitome of holiday dressing. This retrofit jumpsuit over here in the red. Sarah can attest to it. I know that she has worn it before.
It is my favorite rental on site.
It's just a great style, and it's like, yeah, and it's the holidays, so like have fun, like you want to rent, you have this amazing subscription, jazz it up a bit. So I thought that was a great option.
I love it. I mean, I think I'll be renting that jumpsuit if it's available as soon as we're done with this forum today.
Yeah, it would look great on you, Blaire.
Thanks. All right, so our next slide, we're gonna cover winter bolds. Now, this is definitely something that isn't expected, and we always naturally think of bright colors during the spring, summer months, but all these bold styles have definitely made an appearance for the fall winter season, and Sarah and Sydney are going to cover how to wear a bold color during these colder months, and these are some really fun examples.
Yeah, I think to Blaire's point, it's very easy to put ourselves into confines of colors that we should always wear during the holidays, print types that we should always wear during the holidays. And I think it's really important to remember that there's a lot of mileage on print that maybe some of us haven't thought about before. And I think that these are examples of ways that we've taken really bold colorways and have translated them for the fall. So they have some warm hues to them, but they're still kind of in the spectrum of brighter, bolder, definitely more standout colors that we think that no one should shy away from at this time. We've got this amazing, suit set from Tanya Taylor. It is sequins, but I think it's a great option for someone who doesn't want to wear a dress and wants the versatility of, either pairing it as a full set or switching it up and wearing the blazer one day, the pant another day.
I've actually worn the Tanya Taylor metallic suit set. It's amazing. It does run a little small. Being fabric doesn't have a lot of stretch, so definitely size up if you're gonna try this really amazing animal print suit.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing to keep in mind too. I think especially with a blazer top, it's easy to, want to stay true to size. But as Sid said, you can rule the world in an oversized blazer. So don't be scared to kind of go up a size if, your size isn't available at the time. I would totally recommend that with the Robert Rodriguez blazer. This is another favorite of mine. The color is amazing and flattering for all skin tones, and something that, feels almost like a perfect backdrop to layer in accessories, with that and have it feel like a very cohesive piece. And then finally, we've launched this amazing collection with Love Wit. And I think, that is something that I would totally recommend checking out. Whitney Port, obviously we all know her from The Hills. She's done an amazing job developing a capsule collection for us that, really speaks not only to her taste, but also is super translatable to, all walks of life, for sure. And then
finally, like olive coloring, and it's faux leather too, so that's a plus as well.
Yeah, I love this olive color. I feel like we've been seeing that so much these days. And then we just have two more styles here just to touch on. Maternity Hatch is a great, brand to reference. I know we've had a couple questions, before this started about what to recommend for a maternity customer. I think that this, sweater dress is perfect. You can either wear it as a dress or maybe pair it over something else if you want a little bit more coverage. I think here the styling with the boots is great, but don't be afraid to kind of play this up a little bit and think of it as almost like a oversized layering piece.
Definitely. It's definitely a style that can be layered with and act as your like base, and you can add on to it with like a really cool like long vest, or even layer like a little button up collared white shirt underneath just to add some like dimension to it.
Totally.
Awesome. So we're going to jump. This was actually one of the questions submitted before our forum today, was what to wear for a tacky sweater Christmas, maybe virtual holiday party. So the girls put together some really stylish but still fun and festive looks.
Yeah, so this was a great question and such a good point. And this is a great opportunity to rent for an ugly sweater party, because I know they're very popular during the holidays, obviously. And, why would you buy a sweater that you're going to wear once with a giant Santa face or Christmas tree or something on it, when you can actually have fun? And this is like our fashionable take on, the ugly tacky sweater. So, just to run you guys through some of these looks, I think this is a moment where you can just go bold and just, have a lot of fun with it, where like I love like the sequin milli pant, which is so comfortable, but also adds like a jazzy touch to like this Marnie like cardigan sweater, which I think would look really great with the earrings. And you can also, pair everything back with a fun earring or accessory. And, depending on the holiday that you're celebrating, you can switch up your coloring, which I think is great. One of the styles that I do love also is this Monse and Philosophy pairing, where like I think in the winter, it's such a great idea to wear shorts with tights underneath it. It's like a fun style. You can even wear like fun striped tights if you wanted to add to the look. And then another really fun look I wanted to call out, which is another segment of inventory that we have on our site, is this perfect moment ski suit look, because, ugly sweater parties have really evolved from just the sweater where it's becoming like a full-on look. So I think this is like a totally awesome fashion glam moment. Rent a ski suit, pair it with some gold jewelry and an amazing faux fur jacket, and you're good to go, and your friends' jaws will be dropped when they see you walk in. So I think it's a good option.
I would totally pair like a sexy pump with this and just like,
yes,
amazing.
I love it.
Cool. All right. So we're going to jump to what are your favorite styles on site and how would you wear them?
Awesome. All right, August, I will kick this off. I saw Kelly Lynn's question in the chat about if anyone else's family calls them out for being too fashiony, and I can totally relate to that. So I'm glad you brought that up. You know, I think it really ties back to my picks in the sense that I love upgrading a classic staple silhouette by adding like a fun twist to it. And these are great options for that. The See by Chloe coat, I love this colorway. This like really rich deep green is probably one of my favorite colors. But this is a really easy way if you are, you know, going into the stores this year for holiday shopping. Maybe you're seeing holiday lights in your neighborhood or just going to and from, you know, a wine night with your friends. This is a really easy way just to kind of upgrade your full cohesive ensemble and really knock it out of the park. Line and Dot, this is an amazing button up. And I will say, you know, again, back to kind of my recommendation to keep things a little bit more oversized, have fun with layering. This is an easy piece to do that, where I personally went for the monochromatic look here, had a play on winter white. But if you just want to throw this on, it makes your look feel polished, but is, you know, a little bit of a throwback to that kind of like 90s, you know, button up. So I think that that's great.
That's definitely a trend that I've been seeing amongst a lot of our ambassadors and just some influencers out there, that they're wearing oversized button-ups of various fabrications and layering it with a turtleneck or a t-shirt or a tank top. So you definitely hit the nail on the head with this look, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
jacket is in.
No, for sure. And I think I personally am not a crop top kind of gal, but Sydney, I could totally see throwing like a little crop top turtleneck under this with some like really cute jeans. And for those of us that aren't, you know, in the Northeast, this is a great, you know, weight. So you're not too hot. And we have to keep that in mind too, that we've got community from all over the United States. And my recommendation is to kind of mix and match your fabrications, especially when you're layering. So these earrings, if you have talked to me between now and the last 3 years, I've probably been wearing these earrings. I'm obsessed. Highly recommend. I've paired these back with a tee in this image here, but you can really wear these for black tie. But I think that they're a really chunky, like organic gold hoop that goes with any look. If you know me, you know I love a knit polo. I think that they're just an easy way. You could put this under a blazer. I wore this with really ripped denim and wore this out at night. But I think that the key thing to keep in mind with this particular style is that, again, the colorways are neutral. So even though it feels like a pop piece, you can totally keep it understated still and tie this back, you know, to items that you already have in your closet at home.
That's a great point. You know, this polo is a classic design, but it has like a trend element to it. So maybe not necessarily go back to like your high school polos of like, you know,
right, your double polo,
like lacrosse polos, but often for something more on like the neutral tone and maybe like a bit more fashion forward design.
Totally. And I think it also adds just like a polished edge to your look, just to have like a collar. You know, I think it just depends on how you wear it, but just an easy way to do that if you're wearing this, say, for the office or something, you know, where you want to be a little bit more conservative. Finally, these jeans, like I said before, like I do focus more on my legs. So this oversized cargo pant, for me, I wanted to emphasize the fact that they were super long, super oversized. So I actually paired this with like a 4-inch heel so that they really, you know, maximize the intention of this pant. So I think that's finally, you know, my other recommendation is that if you're picking something because of the key attributes, turn the dial up on that and just go for it. You know, if it's oversized, wear it oversized. If it's meant to kind of call out a certain angle to it, go for it.
So Sarah, when you recommend like renting denim, like I know for me, when I am renting denim, I always tend to go a size up just because so many brands run so differently. Would you mind telling us like what size did you wear in this jean, and was it fitted oversized or just like the perfect fit?
So these actually run oversized. So typically I'm between like a 28 and a 29. So I believe here I opted just to go for my size. And I think another time I might have sized down to a 27 just because they are going to be, you know, a little bit bigger in the waist. My recommendation for denim, because we're all in the same boat, especially when we're trying new brands, it does take a little bit of effort to figure out what your best size is. I recommend checking fabrication breakdown. Anything with 100% cotton has 0 stretch. So if you really are worried, say, about the top lock, which refers to kind of like that hip tush area, size up, because anything without any like elastane or spandex is not going to have any give there. So that would be, you know, my go-to. And then for, you know, our short gals, I definitely recommend checking out the inseam. We do include all that info in our product details. So it does take a little bit more of a lift, but all the information is there at your fingertips to kind of find what works well for you.
Awesome. All right, Sydney.
Okay, so here are my picks, and I'm very excited that I had images wearing all of them to share with everyone because I thought it was a great idea. So this first style is this Ghani kind of mesh turtleneck top. I'm obsessed with these tops. We have a couple of them on site from Ghani, from Affirm, from a couple other designers that I think they're just great for layering, especially when they are in these fun prints. So like if you want to wear a crew neck sweater and then wear the turtleneck underneath, you have that little pop of fun that comes out, and it kind of just elevates your look a little bit more than just the plain sweater. They're also great to wear no matter where you are because they're very breathable. So it's something that you can layer in the cold weather, but then if you're in warmer climates, you could just wear it on its own and it is breathable. So I think this is a great style. I actually wore this one on Thanksgiving with my family. And then this Tommy Hilfiger cardigan, I actually still have home with me right now. I think I've been holding on to it for the past month. I love it so much. I know it's like I need to return it, but
it's such a great
keep finding opportunities to wear it. So I just think it's great.
Full Letterman jacket, but in a more fashionable way.
That's what, like, you throw it on and then I feel like I look cute and I'm put together. I don't have to think about it. I'm wearing like a tank top or a t-shirt and I throw it on and it's like a great look. So I highly suggest everyone rent this if they can get their hands on it. Great for casual. Like you can see in my picture, I like layered it with my oversized coat and went out to run some errands. And then this Tanya Taylor style was actually a top performer for us during the spring months, and it is super comfortable. And the reason why I loved it is because you can cinch it at the waist so that it fits you. So I'm 5'2", so I'm fairly petite. So shout out to all the short girls out there. It can be a little tricky to get rentals that fit your height. But this one, because it's cinched at your ankles and you can cinch it at your waist, you can kind of adjust it so that it fits you best. And it's super comfortable. So I, of course, took the opportunity to take a photo with my plants, which is what you do.
Sydney, would you say, and I think Tanya does such a great job of designing for all sizes. Would you say that she's one of your favorite curve designers to work with and does really well, just really perfecting that fit?
Yes, absolutely. Tanya is a huge advocate for all sizes. And the thing that I love about her is that she is so fashionable and trendy that she will extend her size ranges so that you can get any style you want on her line in your size, which I love. And we're always looking to extend our sizes where we can. And Tanya's definitely one of the best designers for that.
Awesome.
And then this next style, the gray, so Sherpa coating is in this winter. So if you need a coat, rent some Sherpa and you are in style. This one is so soft. I've worn it millions of times. I'm probably going to rent it again. So I love this one. It's very comfortable. And another jumpsuit that I tried out. So I actually took quarantine as an opportunity to like test out some rentals. This one I love, this mint pink. It's a faux leather jumpsuit. It's definitely very edgy, and I wore it to work from home in. It was a little long on me because I'm 5'2", but I rolled it up once or twice and it was fine. Perfect to pair with your fuzzy slippers, and I felt like I was looking pretty good working from home.
Super chic for that Zoom call.
Yeah.
All right, so how to get the most out of your rentals. I know we have just about like 8 more minutes left, so we only have another slide and then we'll get to Q&A.
Awesome. Okay, we can kind of breeze through this because I definitely want to hear some of your questions and talk to you guys one-on-one, but I'll take the first one and then Sarah, if you want to take the next. But I think during this time, it's awesome to, get the most out of your rentals by getting inspired by everything that we do have on site. So like this is the time to like rent and experiment and try new designers, try new fits, and see how things fit you so that when you do have that event in the future, you know what your go-to is. for me personally, I'm taking this time to like revamp my style and find out who some of my favorite designers are. So I've definitely been getting a lot of new rentals and experimenting, which has been fun.
My recommendation is to start hearting. I know all of these do kind of play into each other, but our community is so vocal. We share so much, and I get so much out of you all when I read through your reviews. And I think I build shortlists at times based on other women that are like me on site, and choose items in the future based on, you know, what they've recommended. And I think it's so important to start creating shortlists for yourself, especially, you know, as things are coming up, places are starting to reopen. If you've got a last minute dinner, you know, you've got your dinner shortlist, you've got your going out shortlist. I mean, I do know I've got thousands of styles hidden in all of my shortlists. So I do recommend, you know, using that as kind of like your go-to way to keep your favorite on tap.
Yeah, short lists are super, super helpful. I mean, look, we've been around for 11 years now, and we have so much inventory. So it is a little bit challenging to comb through all of our amazing styles. So at least with your short list, you have that on hand and can refer back to your favorites when you were searching 6 months ago or yesterday.
Cool. And then this last point, I mean, you guys as our community, the RTR ambassadors, this is your opportunity to just inspire others and share what you're renting. So leave reviews and have fun with it. You know, update your Instagram with some of the amazing styles. I think this is an awesome time to do that.
I love seeing how you all style our looks too. And I do love checking out our RTR ambassador page. You know, I could spend days on that handle. So I do appreciate everyone like having fun with their rentals for sure.
I absolutely love seeing our community and how they style themselves. And as our style director, I get personally inspired by how everyone wears all of our inventory. So keep it up.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah. All right. We've got 5 minutes for some Q&A. And just to get us started, I'll read out a few of our questions that were submitted ahead of time. And then if anybody wants to jump in, like please just unmute yourself and ask away, or you can type it in the little Q&A chat section on your Zoom. So I think our first one is from Jenna, and it is, what's been your go-to jacket so far this winter?
Awesome. That's a great question. I have been actually looking at a lot of the outerwear for a while now, and I did call out Sherpa as one of the main trends. So a couple of my favorites, we actually recently posted this really amazing kind of cropped Sherpa jacket from Sandy Liang, which is awesome. You guys should all go check her out. She's very edgy and cool. And then the Stan Studio color block coat, which is like a checkerboard in Sherpa. That one's really fun too.
Yeah, I'd have to ditto Sydney on that. I think Sherpa is like a really great way to go. But if you're looking also for things that are more technical, we've got that too under our ski rentals or our kind of like all weather rentals.
I love there's a new checkered Stod teddy coat. It's like neutral and like cream colored check. Oh my gosh, talk about a statement coat. I'm bringing that one home for the holidays. Our next one is from Megan Hannigan. And what item would you buy yourself from the new fall winter inventory? Being that we do have the capability to buy directly from Rent the Runway.
That's a good question. You can go ahead.
Okay, so I would say, you know, I started off quarantine wearing loungewear, wearing stretchy fabrications, but I have fallen in love again with all of my denim pieces. And I think that it's so important just to find that fit that works for you. I've invested in 3 of the redone pairs that we have on site. And I think that once you find a denim that feels like a sweatpant, by the time it fits your body, I highly recommend, you know, picking out some of your core pieces that you'll never want to take off.
I love that. I think for me, there's like 2 ways I would go. I would look for some of my coveted brands that I love, like Donnie. If there's like a great deal, I probably would pull the trigger on something like that, like one of their you know, mesh turtlenecks like I talked about, because I feel like that's something I can wear all year round. And then I also love the shacket trend. I feel like you can't go wrong with that. So we have a couple from BB Dakota and Baramoda that are great price points, and I'm sure the buying options will be in a good price point.
Amazing. Okay, we have a few more minutes left. I'm going to open up the floor to anyone who wants to unmute themselves and ask us a few questions or type it in. And don't be shy.
Let's see.
It looks like we have one about upcoming trends, designers for spring 2021. Sid, do you want to kick us off?
So I kind of touched on this a little bit before, but one of the trends that I'm very excited about for 2021 is the bold shoulder. I think we've seen it kind of in this past spring with like, you know, your muscle tees with like the padded sleeve or the shoulder pads, but it's definitely coming back for spring, and we're seeing it in tie-dye, in different prints, in some jackets. So I think it's going to be a really great trend that I know I'm going to hop on board.
Yeah, to, you know, add to that, we have some amazing emotional styles that we're also bringing on. You know, I think it's so important that, again, like we've said before, stay bold, have fun, and step outside of your comfort zone. Our site is a great way to have fun with fashion, and we have some amazing styles on order that should be hitting, you know, between early spring, right before summer, that are great, bold statement items that just make you feel great. And I think that's really what it comes down to, especially, you know, as we're all navigating this kind of virtual lifestyle, is what sparks joy. And I think that by trying out as much as you can on site, you'll really be able to nail down some of your next go-tos for the spring summer 2021 season.
Yeah, I think we're kind of hoping that come spring 2021, maybe we'll all feel a little more comfortable leaving our homes. So like Sarah said, I second that, like the emotional dressing, the fun prints, bold colors. We're going to go for it this spring.
I cannot wait. All right, everyone. So I'm going to wrap us up. Thank you again for taking the time to chat with us today about holiday dressing and getting to know Sydney and Sarah. We're going to share this presentation with you after we get off of our forum, and as well as the Zoom. So in case you want to share with any of your fellow ambassadors or friends, just so you all can be super stylish for the holidays. But thanks again, and everyone, please be safe and happy holidays, happy new year, and we will see you in 2021.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.